I've always been afraid to rely on motors and machinery in the backcountry. I prefer to travel under my own power and accept my own physical limitations. But in the north, with snow on the ground half the year, snowmobiles are a way of life. I decided to test the waters and bought a used sled this winter. It's an old Tundra, a model that's renowned for being hard to kill. I was about to find out if my fears about relying on machines in the backcountry were warranted, or if it was just a fear of the unknown.
It's 30 below, feels like minus 40 with the wind chill. And this is kind of what you don't want to happen when you depend on machinery. The bar for this trailer just came off. The nut came off, and it's obviously gone in the snow somewhere. Maybe I can take off one of these if they're the same size. No, these are smaller. Oh man, crap. My day might be pooched. I could tie a rope from this one around to try and hold it on, but like it needs to hold a significant amount of force. I just don't trust that, and I don't want to get in deeper water here, so I think I have no choice but to go home and get to the store and find some parts. So I tied some rope around it to the other side to hopefully hold it on so I can limp back to the truck. I'm not sure it's going to stay, but anyway, I guess I'll be back in a few days.
I sorted out the sleigh and returned to the access point 5 days later to set up camp and stay for a few nights. The temperature was negative 30 degrees Celsius that morning when I left the truck. The sled started in the cold but was running smoky. I attributed that to the temperature and carried on. I rode in 8 kilometers to the edge of the lake and set out on foot from there. After pitching my canvas tent, I was feeling good about my camp. That's when things started to go downhill.
It was minus 34 this morning. Thankfully it's warming up all day. It's supposed to be only minus 12 overnight. And then mild tomorrow so I can fish. Today's gonna be all work setting up. Just so much work to do here alone with firewood and everything. So tomorrow I'll fish, and then I've got some more time after that. But the temperature is going down to minus 31 the following night, so that won't make good for good fishing conditions for me, but I'll get it in tomorrow while I can. I'm looking forward to it. I like the spot that I've got to camp here, but it is really devoid of good firewood, standing dead wood. 2 small ones here, these 2, but after that it's slim pickings. I'm gonna have to go searching. Found 1 more here and 2 more over there, so I'm getting somewhere.
stuck in slush. Hit this really nasty section. I knew there was slush on the lake, so I wanted to do a rip and let it firm up for tomorrow so I could have a path to ice fish and walk on. And yeah, it's backfired. I'm still not done setting up camp. And I've been stuck here for a half hour. I have never done this before. First time I've driven a snowmobile on the lake. First time getting stuck in slush, so I'm gonna have to figure it out. Got out without the sleigh. I just need to drag the sleigh over, but it's got frozen slush all over it now, which makes it super difficult to pull. Oh, snowmobiles have their own set of problems, I tell you. Just kind of scrape it off first. Got the sleigh back to the sled. Now it won't start. It's a simple engine. I would hardly know what I'm looking for. Belt seems to be fine. Like, there's gas in it, plenty. I just filled it up more. Usually starts pretty well. Got it going and tried to zip back. Just get right back to off the lake. Got stuck in slush again. Oh, I'm exasperated. Obviously, I don't know anything about snowmobiles, but I feel like an idiot, but I don't know what else I could do. I'm just scouting out a path to try and find no slush. So once I finally get out of this slush, I can hopefully find a path that will be safe to take back. I don't like hearing motors out here. You might not like hearing them in the video either. I have no intention of making the snowmobile part of the video, but it's just kind of been the story so far. The track just gets jammed with slush. I keep knocking it out, but I can't get anywhere. Finally got out of the worst of the slush. Man, if you've ever been in that scenario, it's incredibly defeating. Especially alone. With another person, it would make a big difference. And the sled is incredibly heavy when it's packed with slush. Going back to the sleigh, I'm gonna drag it back too. Hopefully I'm in the clear for the next, that open space is all I have to make it to. Oh. Back on land. Still not running right. I turned it over. I'm gonna try scraping all the slush off of it, but it's still struggling now out of the slush. So, and I want to make sure I get the slush off tonight, even though I badly just want to crawl into bed, because if this freezes on, I don't know, that seems like a worse problem. I'm usually excited for trips. This time I kind of had to force myself. It's been very cold lately. Leafs are playing tonight, and it's just hard to leave home. I'd rather be home with Aaron right now, I could tell you that. And yeah, back on land, and I thought all my problems were over. Something's wrong. There's this red stuff in here. That looks, I have no idea what it is. Like, there's someone on that thing there. Oh. And it's all up in there as well. Put the cover back on. I'm gonna get in the tent, get a fire going, boil water. I'm just spent. So thirsty. I'm too tired to eat, I think, but I need to drink water. Got some wood to get me started. I'll have to keep processing, but I gotta get the fire going to boil water. No slush here. That's nice. Boots are completely soaked through though. Open the fluid hamper. And let's let this baby rock. This is such a morale boost to be at this point. And I've got this egg carton full of dryer lint and I think some candle wax. I throw that in there too because it's just no messing around right now. My only water today was this 1 liter thermos. Brought it in a thermos so it wouldn't freeze. Still hot. And it saved a little bit. I didn't want to use it all up. Always want to have some water around. I can finally drink this now that I got some going. I've spent hundreds of days doing backcountry trips, winter and summer, spring and fall. This was one of the most physically demanding I've ever done. Hauling that slush-packed sled around, inhaling all the fumes, and even before the slush happened, like it was just still a strenuous day. I was processing wood like crazy, trying to find wood actually. I should have been more strategic with my tent, my camp placement. There's no dead wood around here, so I was walking like, I don't know, ways down the lake to try and find some. I hope the sled gets me out of here tomorrow. If it had been colder, it would have been bad. It was merciful that it was, I don't know, it's maybe -10 out now. It's warmed up throughout the day. If it had been a -30 day, this would have been a scary day. I would have had to walk out, I think, but my boots would have been wet and frozen. It'd be dangerous. You can get frostbite so easily. So I don't know what I would have done. Might have just had to fire up the stove and ride it out in here. I guess that would have been the smartest. That's why I'm doing this. I would have gone out today. I feel like maybe the snowmobile would have got me out, but I didn't want to take the risk of getting stuck if it broke down halfway. It's maybe a 7 or 8 kilometer trail back to my car, but so it's walkable. That's my condition when I'm using the snowmobile. It always has to be walkable. Have to expect an issue with the snowmobile and be prepared for that. I went 40, 50 kilometers out. If things go bad, it'd be really bad, especially alone. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow I can get out of here on the snowmobile, and worst case I'll walk out. I still got to get the sleigh. It's on the lake. I'm new to snowmobiles, but yeah, I'm not new to this whole game, and I'm prepared for anything. Like I have a complete set of change of clothes and a good sleep system. I could sleep through the temperatures tonight easily. I came out this weekend to set up camp when it was going to be mild in case things went wrong. When I have a camp set up, that's when I'm more confident in going in at extreme temperatures, but that's serious stuff. -30, -40. You have to respect that. I have to respect that. I don't think I'll make dinner tonight. I just badly want to go to bed. But this dehydrated fruit, banana, apple, and blueberry is going down really good right now. Funny little experiment here. This smallest pot is titanium. This one, and the middle-sized one, is stainless steel, and this one is aluminum. The aluminum one has twice as much as this, and yet boiled first. Aluminum is the most conductive. Stainless steel is the next most conductive, and it's starting to boil, but again, it has half the liquid as that one. And the titanium has the least boil going on. It's just starting to now. And it's got the smallest amount of liquid, which you would think would allow it to boil first, but no, because of its conductivity, it's a slow boil. There are hot and colder spots on the stove, so it's not a perfect test, but it is, those are just facts of conductivity. Just got my wet clothes off, 10:30. Feels like it's 4 a.m. though. Okay, get a pot of chili, pan of garlic bread, first of two, and some instant coffee. Feels humid again. My body is wrecked, but I feel a lot better than I did last night. Very hungry. Last time we were out, I mentioned that Luigi from Moreira Outdoor Innovations sent us this center pole with the base plate and this little clamp for hanging stuff on, which I added some beaners to. I was able to hang so much stuff off of this. We've normally hung off the lines, but that actually pulls in the tent when you have quite a lot of weight on them. So this has been fantastic. I'm really a big fan of that. He also sent us this silica reflector sheet, which is working amazingly well. You can see the snow is not melting under it. This side table, just keeping some chili warm. I have to go haul some firewood, so I'm gonna have that for a snack when I get back. And then this false bottom as well. This steel piece on the bottom with the holes drilled into it promotes airflow underneath. It's really working nicely. Great stuff, Luigi, thank you.
I'm gonna get this sleigh back to the fire as well and try and melt this all off, or it's just gonna drag like crazy. Nope. Yeah, that's more like it. Makes this 10 times easier. Falls right off. The rest of the firewood I processed down the lake yesterday. So it's gonna be really nice to come back to next time. I'm leaving as much as I can behind here. So I'm leaving food up here to rodent proof it. Main concern in winter is not bears. They're in a state of torpor, very unlikely to have an issue with bears, but rodents, voles and mice and whatnot.
but we can't get it up there. All packed up. This sled's coming out with me. And this camp is ready when I come back. Hopefully there's not too much snow on it by that point. It can ruin the tent if it gets too heavy, but should be alright. It's time to go see if the snowmobile is going to take me home. Spoke too soon, I guess. It's really limping. You have a spare belt. I just opened the gas tank. I don't know if you can see this, but there's either smoke or some kind of vapor coming out of there. Yeah, something's smoking. It smells bad. It smelled bad when I left yesterday, actually. There's no cell signal here, but at least I've been able to keep in touch with Erin and tell her what's going on the Zolio SATCOM. Oh, it's not ideal. Well, the belt just gave out. Can't say I'm surprised. It's with the way the engine's been struggling. I'm not even gonna replace it. It's just, I'm at a point where I'm gonna have to be towed out, so I'm gonna get the sled off the trail here, leave it, cover it, and hike the rest of the way out. When I first got on the snowmobile, immediately had buyer's remorse. Not knowing that things were gonna go wrong with it. That's probably on me. It's not me. It's convenient to get out to where I wanna be, but hauling the Pulkin, earning the destination, walking through these snowy woods, like that's part of the fun for me, so it's almost a relief. I wish I could have gotten the sled back to the parking lot so I can deal with it. Now I gotta get a tow. But I think that's it for me. It was an experiment, and it's just not me. So, back to the old Polk. As I hauled back to the truck, I breathed fresh air instead of smoky fumes, listened to trickling creeks and a woodpecker instead of combustion, observed tracks beneath me and snowy boughs all around instead of having it all fly by in my peripheral. Sometimes you try something even when it doesn't really feel like you. It's after these experiences when it feels better than ever to come back to your center and remember what it is you truly value. So that whole thing happened about 2 weeks ago, and if you want to hear what happened to the sled since then, here it is. I got home, I messaged my buddy Paul and told him what happened. He's been going into that area as well. He happened to be going in there 2 days later. So Paul and his buddy Tim brought their sleds and very generously hauled out my sled. I was just overjoyed to have it out and get it back home where it can be worked on. I hauled a sled back home on the trailer, and Paul says, "Hey, can you bring it over to my workshop tonight? We want to have a look at it." So I'm so indebted to Paul. Thank you, Paul, so much for all your help. We brought it into his workshop. He had a fire going in there, so it was a nice heated area to work in. It's been so cold out here lately. And they fixed the number of the issues right there on the spot, but then we needed some more parts. So Paul and Tim were there helping, and then also Paul Jr. and Duncan, who gave me a great deal on some parts. He had some used Tundra parts at his camp. So Once we got the parts, Paul and Tim went to work getting them replaced. A bunch of things were wrong. I'll show you a little footage of the sled now that it's been fixed, and also put a list below if you are really into snowmobiles. Again, this is so not my domain. I'm so bad at this stuff, but this has been a good opportunity to learn. So here's the sled after being repaired. It's now got this shroud on it here, which should have been there all along. New belt, that was I guess a simple part, along with replaced the gas line. It had a nick in it. But I guess the main thing was the clutch here. That red stuff that was coming out of it, that was like an internal component that was causing it to fail. So that was definitely part of the problem. Here's a little bit of it left there. But should be good to go again. And although snowmobiling isn't something I have a passion for, it's still a means to an end, so we'll hold on to the sled. Erin's a northern girl and she wants to have a sled too, so. And now that these guys have put all this work into fixing it, now it has new life, so hopefully I can still use it the same way I use a car. I don't have any passion for driving, but I love that it gets me to access points to wild places, so I'll still find that balance of being out in nature and soaking it up and getting to where I want to be. So yeah, that's it. Huge thanks again to Paul, Tim, Paul Jr. and Duncan for all their help. I would have been completely lost without you guys, so thanks a million.